Hello, beloved. Welcome to my diary. I'm Tatami, and today I'd like you to indulge me for a second. Let's have an imagination session where we imagine a classy restaurant, or at least, the place up from where when you decide there's somewhere special to go. This isn't a McDonald's night. You know this place is classy for a few reasons, right? There's the dress code, perhaps. People can't come in looking sloppy. There's the person leading you back to sit in booths. There's the decor. It's much more lush and nice than other places that you see. There is the music, ambient, lovely, classical, acoustic guitar, soft rock, jazz, some kind of classic instrumental stuff in the background. It's not to overpower, it's not to distract, it's to just add to the mood behind you as you talk with your friends and eat your food. Now, imagine there's somebody behind you, a commotion, a scene. Somebody got too drunk at the bar. Somebody is in a fight with their friend. Somebody found their husband here with another woman. Somebody is just at their table and there's just a bunch of friends and they're just progressively getting a little too drunk, a little too loud, a little more and more rowdy and rambunctious as time goes on, to the point where they've been asked a couple times to stop. And the staff have decided we got to just get them out of here. That's just kind of how it is. They're not listening. They're getting crazier by the minute. They've got to go. Imagine to yourself how the manager or the owner of that restaurant is going to get those people out. Maybe they'll go up and talk to them. Maybe they will kind of form a little barrier and start escorting people out, and some friends are going to get embarrassed, so start to leave, and everybody else is going to trickle out, and they might say a few things, but they get out. Sometimes even you have to call the cops, but usually just pressuring people out the door and taking their food and stuff will get them out the door. You know what I'm saying? Now, have you ever, at a classy place or sit-down restaurant, ever had the owner storm out into the dining room and start yelling at everyone? Start yelling to the point where the people over here can hear you. The people over there can hear you. In fact, the guy over here has whipped his phone out because he's like, what the heck is going on? This person starts yelling to everybody. Everybody's being addressed. They're making generalizations about the whole crowd. They're making generalizations about women of their race, how it's somehow burdening them. They're making commentary that is very general, very loud, and almost like a breakdown. And meanwhile, they're yelling that this is a classy place. And in the background, though, you can faintly hear the sounds. Oh no, it's way louder than you realized. It's Meg the Stallion booming from a DJ in the corner of this classy establishment where the manager is yelling at everybody. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I have never, ever been at a place where from across the restaurant, I could hear someone addressing troublemakers, asking them to leave, blah, blah, blah. I've never heard it. I've never heard a single manager lecture an entire dining room of people because of what one table did, or one person did, or 3 or 4 people did over here. Never heard it, never seen it, don't want to see it. But somehow, in our community, we had pretty much this situation happen where a Black man who's been a lawyer, invested in his own restaurant, it's supposed to be like cocktails and food, and Black women, upon hearing twerking music, Meg the Stallion, it's like playing Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, it's like playing Big Frida and being shocked if you see some bounce. They heard the music, they saw the decor, they saw the way everybody else was dressed, and they made the assumption that this was a place they could twerk. They were wrong. This is not a dancing establishment. You are not allowed to dance here. The staff tells them this. The girls continue. The staff says one more time, the girls continue. It is at this point that one of the girls twerks by a glass window. And when her hand touches the glass window, according to the owner of the restaurant, he not only for a second thinks, oh, what if the glass breaks? I need to get her out of here before she becomes like, these people become a liability. But he says he also started to feel this rage for how Black women act and how it burdens him as a Black man. I guess the racism, Black women, the stereotypes that, people feel towards us when we do certain things. This is a burden to the Black man. The burden isn't that other people have racist opinions of us and degrading opinions of us. It's that we keep doing things that make them have this opinion, and therefore it burdens him. So he says all of this out loud. He is just addressing the whole room. He's talking about 73% of Black women this, and some of you are ladies, and the rest of you, who knows what he's gonna call them. The whole dining room is listening. The guy recording is literally over like a divider over here on the far end of the restaurant, and he hears him, and he is getting this all clear as day. And he's saying this place is classy. How could you be doing this? Meanwhile, in the background, the DJ is playing Meg the Stallion. And he is yelling in the dining room. And there's something in me that has to wonder if Becky or Karen was in there kind of acting the fool to music, if he wouldn't just have escorted them out, if he would have had that same type of lecture, yelling, you burden your men in your community by doing this type of argument for them. I have a feeling he'd have been a little more patient for them, a little more professional, should I say. I think it's really interesting that not as a Black community, we're commending him for holding his establishment down. I don't have a problem with someone wanting to hold their establishment down. I do have a problem with us uplifting this man like he is how all Black women should be spoken to, like he did anything really correctly, professionally, classy in that situation. Because in reality, what occurred is he lost his temper and responded to what he saw as lower class ratchet behavior with in-kind lower class ratchet type of behavior. He was judging it, but he was also openly word vomiting it out to his whole establishment. And there's somewhere in there when he's talking about, I spent so long trying to think about how I wanted this place to be. I wonder why he didn't turn inwards and think about his own professionalism. Because I'm sure as a lawyer, when he pounds the fist and starts yelling and snaps, that's very effective. But when you're in the restaurant service industry, and you're trying to establish that this is a classy place for the long term, you've got to hold yourself to that classy, professional, long-term status of servitude. And if I was one of those people who had to get called out and lectured, literally lectured, I've never heard of a manager not only kicking you out, but giving the whole dining room a lecture on etiquette, I guess, but not etiquette, because you can't be yelling at people and with a lack of etiquette, giving advice on the proper etiquette of a classy establishment. The classiness of that establishment needed to come from him down. And his frustration with the people for misreading the way he had set up his establishment with a DJ in the corner playing twerking hits and, space and the way the drinking and all those other things. Those types of places do exist. It's not totally out of the realm that somebody at a place with the drinking and the live DJ and the twerking music and the good food and all that and some space to move wouldn't assume that there was allowed to have that happen. So it's part of him being miffed was that they ever assumed that his establishment was like that. I don't see how he has that foot to stand on, because your establishment, I would have read it kind of similar to how they did. They did break the rules by not listening to him, but his response definitely showed he also wasn't really at that level that he is saying. So I have a lot of problems with the Black community trying to uplift him as the way to talk to and address Black women and the issues in our community. And I gotta go. But that's all I really wanted to say on that anyways. May your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads, and I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to let people twerk in your establishment, but I am saying screaming in your establishment did not add to the classiness of it, and you didn't address it very well. All right, see you all next time.